no surprise that no Air Force Base is in the center of all this, simply because the Homeland Security had taken over it. And the Homeland Security, instrumental in our homeland destruction. These people think in opposites, folks. Black is white, white is black, good is evil, evil is good. Everything about them is that they believe in opposites. Another interesting thing about this immigration, and I think it will pass, folks. No, Hal Turner. He has an interesting site. He's one of these just loudmouth pro-white movement guys. And they've been fighting this amnesty bill, but I do believe it's going to pass in October. And so I don't know, after that point what he's going to do. But his website, HalTurnerShow.com, I mean, it's just hysterical. You look at some of this, though, and you're just like, how can he say that? He advocates, killing senators, killing the president if you see them, going out looking for him, burning down their homes, harassing them, stalking them, whatever. I would be very, very careful, folks. Because anybody advocating violence towards the government, and he hasn't been shut down, his website's still up, which raises the eyebrows up of quite a few, and he could be one of these agent provocateurs in the fact that everybody who goes to a site is targeted and tracked by the government, and all those who agree and support him then become under surveillance of the government. And so I'd be very careful about this kind of thing. The Lord doesn't advocate violence. He never told the Jews, the Israelites, to stand up against the Roman oppressors and beat their heads in with baseball bats, and I'm sure they would have loved to. But what they did was they just separated amongst them and had their own communities. Apart from the civil law, they had their own law, their own communities. And basically, like you look at it today with the Amish are a part of society, but they have their own society within a society. And that's how the Lord's people were. They didn't go around killing people and bashing in their heads. But what the Bible does support is self-defense. Now, if these lizard-loving Satan freaks in our government want to hurt you, then it's your God-given right to blow their head off. If they're coming to your house to do harm to you, then blow their head off. If you have to protect your own family or yourself from being unjustly imprisoned or persecuted or put on a train by these freaks who want to kill you, then blow their heads off. But that's self-defense. And self-defense is a far cry from going out and hunting down these individuals. I can't believe that website is still up when he advocates this stuff. Yeah, you can sit and laugh and think, oh, if only dreams could come true. I would be very leery of anything associated with this kind of site, because you're probably just becoming a target of the government as being an anti-New World Order hater. And you know what? I'm an anti-New World Order. I'm a hater of the New World Order. They could put me at the top of the list. But I'm certainly not going to chase these guys down with their homes and blow them up, And the Lord's already giving us weapons for the last days, folks. And they don't hurt people. And they won't kill people. But what they will hurt and what they will kill is demonic and alien beings. And that's what our war is, folks. It's a spiritual war. Because what these Satan freaks who do want to harm us are germinated. They're alien. They're possessed by aliens. They're possessed by these demonic beings. And a lot of them are just hybrids and serpent seed line. And the Lord has given us orgone for this. And you can go to orgoneblasters.com. And this is a war that we started 3 years ago, that we now have all over this country, all over this world. And orgone will make demonic and evil entities very, very sick. You can just watch them if you give somebody an orgone to hold. And the orgone we make is just a living energy. It's a positive energy. Had somebody send me a picture. He put some orgone pucks in his pond, and now he has vegetation growing in his pond He's never had that in years. But now he's got vegetation growing in his pond because orgone is a living energy. It's an earth healer. It's a healing mechanism. It certainly doesn't hurt people. But those who are wicked can't take the goodness and positiveness of orgone. They can't take it. And so when you give orgone to wicked beings, you'll see them just break out in boils. I've heard of people running to the bathroom to puke that were holding orgone. These wicked people. It will burns them up. I've heard of people planting orgone in their yard, and the wicked neighbors they've been tormented by for years, beside them getting up in the middle of the night and moving out. Had a whole community in Illinois order a bunch of orgone to rid their community of all the Satanists that had taken over. It's just been a literal war, folks, because orgone is just it's a silent, good weapon that the Lord has given us. It doesn't hurt people. It just annoys the heck out of the evil people. And so, definitely a weapon of the Lord's He's given us in these last days. I know a lot of people have been able to take back their communities from the Satanists that have dominated them. They get into communities and they blackball the Christians, and the Christians become unemployed, can't get jobs, and the town is just overrun. And this happens all over the Midwest, and truth be known, probably all over the United States. Just orgone your areas, folks, and chase the Satanists out. They can't stand positive energy. Question for the show. The rapture of the 144K happens after Satan, Jesus, is on earth. Yeah, right after he arrives. A local water plant operator said that he was invited to join the security team, as most in the water plants are. Yeah, probably protect them so they can't get orgone in them. But that's what you want to focus on, folks, is water areas, ponds, rivers, oceans, lakes, streams. Because what happens is the clouds are sponges, and they soak in this good positive orgone, and they rain it down on Earth. And when they rain orgone down on Earth, it gets into the underground water system, and it affects the water that these underground bases are using. These aliens, underground alien bases, they use water, folks. But the orgone water will burn them. So that's one way of destroying these underground bases without ever doing much of anything, but just tossing some orgone around. Okay. Yeah, drink some green tea. I've got boxes of that stuff. Been living on some Tylenol cold medicine and Sudafed and hot coffee and yeah, it's time for allergies, folks. Yeah, 23-year-old kid. You can do your city, because I thought it was nuts. I thought I could never do Cleveland. Cleveland's just too big, and the Lord just showed me how to do it. And so, just get some orgone, folks. Get about 20, 30 pucks and ask the Lord to show you where to put them. And His ways are good. His ways, you can get a whole city. I did Cleveland in like an hour. You don't have to get every nook and cranny in a city. You can get around it. You can go in a circle around it, do a grid around a place, because then everything in the center of that circle just will get saturated with the orgone that you have on the outside around it. And so it's a very easy way to get cities. And if you have the larger orgone, like the 5 ounces or the 10 ounce, 20 ounces that we make, those things will cover 5 to 10 miles apiece. And so if you put them 5 miles apart and do an area in a grid, in a big circle, then you're fine. It'll saturate, have time to saturate, and soak up that entire grid, that whole area that you did. And they'll also do is go inside the city itself, and there are particular places inside of it, especially if there's